Welcome to Feeding the Beast Part 3. I'm going to be talking about Portal Gun and Mistcraft in this episode. You see the Mistcraft stuff there, but let's check out the Portal Gun stuff first. I'm sure most of you guys have probably played Portal, so you know what some of the stuff is. Let me go, there's the Portal Gun. And the pedestal for it, and that's just powered by redstone. It makes it rotate and do its thing. And just walk up to it and you can grab it. You get two different colored portals by default. There are some different kinds of guns and colors for the guns you can get, but this is the default one that you get. And I turned off the visuals for them simply because it causes some lag and so on, and isn't very ideal for when I'm recording. And typically, yeah, you just walk right up to it, you can go right through it. And also, place it on the ground. And up in the air too. So the portal will go pretty much anywhere. On your reticle there, you can see if the portals are active or not. The blue will light up when the blue one's active, and the yellow one will light up when the yellow is active. Okay, I just go reset those, and there's also another portal gun. This one here has a piece of bacon attached to it, and that's pretty much assigns the portals to that specific player. It's more useful in a multiplayer scenario. It also is supposed to pick random colors for the portals. So, and this is the recipe for the normal portal gun. You can make it blue with that, or yellow, and the bacon gun here. FTB doesn't have all of the parts that comes with a normal portal gun mod, so I'll just cover what it has here. It also has the weighted storage cube, and that's well, just a cube. You can grab it, move it around with a portal gun, and that's the G key that does that by default. You can also grab blocks. Okay, now the weighted storage cube, if you hit it with a rose, it will turn into a companion cube, and that when it's in your inventory, it's supposed to heal you. Okay, I don't know for sure if it heals me or not. I don't usually carry them around. Let me see here. Let me take off. That'll probably kill me. I'll have to try it some other time. Okay, so that's part of that. The other thing you can do with the weighted storage cube is if you apply blue dye to it, it becomes a bouncy cube. And that will stop as soon as it hits water, or unless you grab it with a portal gun. I think I'm probably just going to let that bounce around for a bit. Of course, I can also stop it by doing that. These are just the dispenser vents for these cubes. You can build those as well. And you have your electronic intelligence indicator. It's basically nothing more than a check mark and an X triggered by a redstone signal. That's pretty much all it does. And you have your sentry turrets. Those will attack anything except for the player by default. That can also be changed in the configuration.
I know what's the map. Hey, safe travels there.
And just knock them over when you're done with them.
I won't let you down.
These things here are portal spawners. They can be triggered by a redstone signal. When you place them down, let me knock it out and I'll show you. It'll ask you if you want to close the portal when the redstone power is cut off. So it does take redstone power to activate it, and it will also let you choose the color of the portal. So since there's no other portal for it, I already turned those off. There's nowhere for this one to go. But you can also, you can set pairs of these all over the place. Let me get another one here. And actually, yeah, let's do this. And I'm going to need... There you go. So if you want to quick set up travel routes between areas using portals, that's something you can do. You're only limited by the number of colors that you have. And yes, that's an aerial faithplate. These things will basically throw you around depending on the direction that they're facing. You can set, right click on it and you can open up the options. This will set the horizontal and vertical power and whether or not it needs redstone. So you can set up some pretty neat things with those too. And this thing here is the material emancipation grid, just like in the game Portal. When you go through it, it turns off your portals. A couple other things it adds is the radio. It also has a couple of music discs. It also introduces ender pearl dust, which you can use to power the portal gun. That is an option in the configuration settings. For the most part, that is it. Some of these things are more useful than others. It is still a pretty neat mob to play with. Can help get you around if you want. Oop, wrong one. Let's shoot this way over there. There we go. Anyway, as I was saying, there's also the long fall boots. Those will negate damage from pretty much any height. And that is basically 2 of the long fall boot. Which, yeah, it's going to be using the Greg's Tech recipes, so it's kind of messed up a little bit. There we go. That's right. So let's go look at Mistcraft. Mistcraft will create other dimensions or worlds for you to go into. Typically, what you do is you create descriptive books with just a book and a feather. That gets you a descriptive book, and it's blank at that point. And if you just go to it, it's going to get you random results. So why don't I set one of those up here, and before I go anywhere, what you're going to need is a link book, and this is just basically a book. So you take a book, craft it, and you get a linking book. This will bring you back to the point where you crafted that book. Okay, so it's linked to the world, dimension, whichever you want to call it, and in that specific place where you crafted it. They do not work normally in the same age that you're in. You will need a modifier to change that. So let me show you what happens when you go into a book that wasn't written, it was just crafted. So see, there's nothing here describing what's in the book. You click in this area here to go to the age. Takes a second while it's building the age. And here we are. And it looks like I got corruption in this age. Nausea. And that's just gonna get worse the longer I stay here. Let's go back. Ooh. So now if we look in this book here, it'll tell us what it consisted of. Large biomes, pine forest, ice mountains, extreme hills edge, white fog, red fog, bright, eternal snow, normal time, and flat. So there's obviously something wrong with this world because it made us sick when we went there. Now, normally what you'll have to do is you'll have to create a writing desk. And in this desk, which is where you're going to place these these descriptive books that you create to learn all those symbols. This will be, from what I hear, changing in future versions. So you'll have to actually find pages that contain these symbols. So it'll be a little bit different. Let me, before I go on there, and describe the difference in these notebooks. So to memorize these symbols, you're going to need a notebook. Okay, when you get it, it's going to be blank, and when you put the book in there, it's going to add all the symbols that you know. So every time you create make sure you you go back to your writing desk, put it in here, and remember, so it remembers all the symbols that you've gathered, and you can enhance your collection that way. If you want to cheat a little bit, you can go into creative mode and just go ahead and spawn in a book, and it's going to have all the stuff in there already. Okay. Now I was talking about the link book modifiers, which is this right here. What this will do is allow you to add certain modifiers to your books. So following, the book will follow you when you activate it, so it no longer just falls to the ground when you use it. Intralinking means you can use it within the same age or world. Okay, so this linking book here has following and intralinking. Let me grab it out of there, and I can show you what it does here. You just right click, click on the area, and it brings you back to where you're going. Now sometimes when you do this within the same age, it'll give you kind of a stuttering effect. That should be fixed, I think, in the newer versions. Okay. You'll also have your book stand, which you can place books on, and your lectern, also used to place books on. It's a good idea to do this because if books are just left laying on the ground, they will eventually take damage and go away. And you don't want to pick these up by left clicking on them. You want to shift right click. That'll pick it up. If you right click on it, it'll open it, in which case you can just take this book here and drag it into your inventory. So that's another way to pick it up as well. Now let's get into some of the other details about ages. When you write an age or world, you want to use as many, you want to try to make it complete, okay? And you don't want to try to use symbols that conflict. If they conflict, it's going to cause corruption, which can be either several kinds of sickness, or actually your world will start falling apart. So let me, I'm going to throw a bunch of biomes in there. I'm going to choose single biome, so that's going to instantly give me corruption. I'm going to throw in different kinds of lighting, different skies, different features. Ooh. Well, we'll see what happens. I may just end up losing everything. We'll see. I'm just going to throw a bunch of random stuff on there just to give you an idea of what happens. Let me just save my inventory here. So this is what happens when you don't think about what symbols you want. Okay, so this gave me a void age, apparently with a starfisher. And a void age is basically an age with nothing in it. So let me try another book.
It's my big chance.
And dump that in there. I just choose a bunch of others. Single biome, lighting, yeah, that should be enough. So this should get me a few interesting results, because it's going to have to randomly add things in there. Oh, there goes another one. Slowness and nausea. The other thing to keep in mind is these effects are only happen to you under the sunlight. Let me turn off rain, and you'll see. Oh. So now that I'm in the sunlight, you can see I'm getting sick again. I'm going to move over here toward the tree. And this should calm it down a little bit. Looks like I'm in an age with either meteors or random explosions. Either way, it's pretty scary if you don't know what's going on.
I won't let you down.
So let's see what that did. Eternal rain. Always going to be rain, so that's why the rain never turned off. Normal time, flat. Yeah, so interesting. Remember not to return there. So let's look at one that is typically well written. So let's go through the biome controllers first. The checkerboard basically makes a checkerboard. You can only choose two types of biomes. Huge biomes, so you can choose any number of biomes, and they're large, extremely large. Same with the large biomes. Medium biomes, so they're a little bit smaller. Still any number of biomes. I believe it's at least 3 or more. Native biome controller. With this one, you do not want to choose a specific type of biome. Otherwise, you'll get corruption. This just uses the normal Mystcraft biome controller, and will create things like normal. Single biome only allows one biome. Small, really small biomes, 3 or more. And tiny, same as the others. They're just really, really small. Okay, lighting, you have standard lighting, dark, and bright. Bright will light everything up. However, it does not actually add light to the world. Okay, so you will not be able to see dark spaces. So in those areas, mobs will still spawn even though it looks like it's bright and it's daytime. Okay, sky, you got all kinds of different sky effects you can add in here. With the sky effects, they tend to stack and modify depending on how you apply them. So if I do, say, like a black sky and a red sky, it combines the two. So, like I said, you got all kinds of different options here to choose from. Terrain features, so caves, normal caves. Crystals, which are used by Mystcraft to create portals. So you can only find them in ages that have crystals. Dungeons, glowstone crystals. It's kind of like these crystals, except for it's just glowstone, normal glowstone. Just, creates formations in the world with glowstone. Huge trees are, huge trees. They're basically a 2x2 tree that extends up quite far. Lakes, lava lakes, mine shafts, obelisks, which is basically obsidian obelisks that form in the world. Ravines, starfisher. The starfisher is a special feature for Mystcraft. So if you happen to go into an age and you do not have a linking book with you, you fall into these starfishers and it returns you to the overworld. Strongholds, villages, and wooden tendrils. Wooden tendrils is pretty neat. It's just basically a bunch of blocks of wood formed into tendril shapes that go all over the world. So that's pretty neat. Terrain generation, void, which is no terrain at all, just the block that you spawn on. Standard terrain, flat, and cave world. Cave world is pretty neat. It basically turns the entire world into a cave. So when you spawn into that world, it's all cave. Time, slow time, normal, fast time, eternal night, eternal dusk, eternal day. Weather, eternal rain, eternal snow, eternal storm, eternal weather, fast weather, no weather, normal weather, overcast, slow weather. Now these are the world modifiers. Some of these only show up when you have certain kinds of corruptions. but for the most part, they're going to show up randomly as you go through books, and it's going to take a lot of books to find all of these. Accelerated basically accelerates the tick speed, so your machines and so on will go faster. Charged is lightning. Dense ores is going to cause automatic corruption. However, you're going to have a lot more ore. Meteors, well, yep, meteors fall out of the sky. Skylands, this one's pretty cool. What this will do is create islands. Rather than being surrounded by water, they're surrounded by nothing. So it'll create a little piece of land and cut away everything around it. So it's basically a whole world full of islands floating around in the sky. Spontaneous explosions is just that, spontaneous explosions. So let's go back. I'm going to choose let's see. I really like these small biomes, and I'm going to choose plains, extreme jungle, and temperate rainforest. I'm not going to choose a bunch of biomes for now. Standard lighting. Sky, you want to choose usually a fog color, a sky color, and a cloud color. Okay, so let's go with chromatic fog, chromatic sky, chromatic sunset. And I don't want white clouds. Let's go with blue clouds. Terrain features. You know, I think I'm just going to go ahead and choose all of them so you can see what they look like. So none of these really conflict with each other, so we should be okay with that. Terrain generation. In this case, I'm not going to want to choose Cave World. So I'm going to choose Standard Terrain for now. And you only want to choose one of these, otherwise you'll get corruption. Time. I'm going to do fast time. And weather, normal weather. And I'm not going to choose any world modifiers. Okay. Let's see how it turns out. So let's see what we got here. So there's one of the glowstone formations. So let me get above ground. So these are the huge trees. You can see they're quite huge. And I am not seeing the crystals just yet, but they are here. So that's the chromatic sky. Pretty neat. Anyway, I'm back. Sorry, I had a world tick error, so it crashed. But as I was saying, I believe to begin with, crystals only showed up near water. I think that is not the case anymore because there they are. Okay, back again. It seems like it crashed once more. Anyway, there are the crystals. And I don't know if there are any obelisks around here. Looks like there might be some over this way. Basically, these tall columns of obsidian. There we go. So if you want a world to mine obsidian in, these are usually good ways to do it. So let me go back.
Now the broken turret's time to shine.
So it looks like it added a couple extras, chromatic and red fog, but not enough to cause any kind of corruption. So now let me, I'm going to create a more simplistic age. A single biome. Mushroom Island. Standard lighting. I'm just going to choose a couple options there. Caves, crystals, glowstone, lakes, and starfisher. Use standard terrain, normal time, and no weather. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you the crystals. Okay, these can be used to create portals. They can be placed in any formation that you want, so long as it's closed. Okay, meaning that let's see if I can get it here. So it has to be a complete formation like this. So the crystals have to be touching each other and create a circular, not really circular, but a pattern where they're all touching. Okay. So you can create a portal this shape, the shape of the normal portal. You can even, if you want, do something just like this. So it doesn't have to be just vertical. It can be in this direction too. The other thing you can create is a book receptacle for these. So what that will do is you place them on them, and you can place a book in them, and that will bring you to the age. So let me place a book on this one here, the one I just created, and you can see the portal is here now, and it looks like this is just close enough that it's causing a conflict. That may have been a change he made recently. Maybe it just needs to be nearby. Anyway, these portals will change colors depending on the age that you're looking at. It seems to be selecting it pretty randomly right now. So let's dive in. So if you ever wanted your own Mushroom Shore world, this is one way to get it.
You won't regret this.
You can do some pretty neat things with these portals. Entities will go through these and items, so you can throw things into them, move carts into them. All your cows and sheep and chickens, even mobs as well. And if you combine this with your portal gun, you can drop things into other ages. So that's a pretty neat feature. That pretty much, though, covers the basics of portal guns and Mistcraft. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave them. If you liked the video, go ahead and click like. Have a good day.